Hey everyone, welcome back to the latest GoSkills Excel Challenge solution. How close did you get to solving it? Hey everyone, let's take a look at Ilgar's solution for the Excel Challenge. Now we have a group of tasks to complete, and the first one is complex, and we've given you the details on how to figure it out, but we haven't told you the formulas. It's going to take a little bit of work, and it's complex because we're dealing with dates as well as today's date, because whenever you go into this file, it can be a different day. We have to figure out the start date of an employee's vacation period. And that again is going to be the latest anniversary date from when they started at the company. So the month and the day is the easy part. The year is the tricky part. Their latest vacation period may have started during this calendar year, or it may have started in the last calendar year. It all depends on when you're opening this file. So we're going to use the if formula, and let's walk you through that so you can see how we're going to determine it and get it right for every employee. So let's start with a equals if, and the thing that we have to do first is we need to test the employee start date month against today's month. And today we have over in the field 01. So if the employee start month is less than today's month, so it's earlier than today's month, well, it's easy to figure out. We're going to produce a date that is the current year, and we lock that reference in, and then the employee's start date month and day. So their period started this year earlier in the year. But what if the month is later than today's month? Well, let's copy what we did for the first step, and we're going to paste it into our formula, and we're going to format it so it looks a little easier to read. So the second test is if the employee's start month is later than today's month, then we're going to use the same thing, but we're going to subtract 1 from the current year, and then use the employee's start date, month, and day. So their vacation period started last year on their anniversary. So now, here's the third test in this if statement. What if the months are the same? If the employee's start month is the same or equals the current month, well, we need to dig into the day now. So we're going to use the and as part of this because there's 2 tests for this if statement. So if and the employee's start month equals today's month, comma, and then the employee's start day is greater than or later than today's day. If that's all true, then we're going to use last year for the start of their vacation period. So that means that the employee started during the month that we are looking at the spreadsheet, but their anniversary hasn't happened yet, so their period started last year. And we're almost done. The final test here is going to test if the employee started during the same month and during a day that is earlier or equal to today's day. If that's the case, then we use the current year and the employee's start month and day. Now, those are the tests. Now, if for some reason the if statement doesn't work for any of those 4, we're going to put in some double quotes so that a blank appears. We need to close these statements, so we're going to put in the 4 parentheses that close up the formula. And when we hit the check mark, it completes it. We double click to fill the row, and now we have all the start dates for the vacation periods for each employee. That is task 1. Now, I promise all the rest are not as complex. In fact, the second task is much, much easier. Determine the end of the vacation period for each employee. All that is you're going to add 12 months to the start date that you just figured out. And we can use the E date to do that. That's very easy. So equals E date, reference the start date of the vacation period, comma 12 to add 12 months. And that produces a date that is exactly 1 year later than the start date. So that's perfect. That gives you the end date of the vacation period. That's when the employees need to use their allotted vacation time. Otherwise, they lose it and it resets. So now let's get to the third task, which is to figure out the employee's work experience at the current workplace. To do this, we need to know today's date, and we also need to know when they started. We're going to use the DATEDIF function. We're going to start by clicking their employee's start date, comma, then we click on today's date, lock that function, and the last part is to put a Y in quotation marks to return the full number of years as a number. Now this is important because in the next column you can see that it adds their previous work experience to their current work experience, gives total work experience, and based on that they get extra vacation days. We've given you the criteria for the extra vacation days on the challenge worksheet. If an employee has less than 10 total years of work experience, they get 3 additional days of vacation. If an employee has 10 to 20 years of total work experience, they get an additional 6 days. If they have more than 20 years, they get 9. So we're going to use an if-s formula, and by clicking on the function arguments button, we can add in the tests that we need here. So if that total work experience number is less than 10, we will do 3 days. If it's less than 20, we'll give 6. If it's greater than or equal to 20, we'll give them 9. This will give us a number of either 3, 6, or 9 for each employee. And you'll see that the total vacation days, it adds up. And now all employees have either 33 or 36 or 39 days, depending on their total work experience. The question now, though, is how many vacation days have each employee used during this period? We've tracked that over on the transactions worksheet. All we need you to do is just reference it. But we should use an XLOOKUP so that we match their names exactly. So we'll do XLOOKUP. We'll click on the employee's name, add a comma, then go to the transactions worksheet, select the employee names, lock that reference. That's our lookup, comma. Then we select the vacation days used, lock that reference. That's what we want to return. Close that, hit enter, and we get the vacation days used for each employee. And the formulas within this spreadsheet will then return in column L the remaining vacation days for each employee. So we've done all the computations. All the numbers are there now. The last piece of this is the lookup table over on the right. Where you see the employee name, that's a pull down. And when you pull it down, we'd like you to fill in the remaining vacation days and when they need to use it by. That will be a date. So these two are also going to be XLOOKUPs. So we're going to look up the employee name over here in column A. That's our lookup. We lock the reference. And then we are going to return the remaining vacation days. Lock that reference. Close that. Hit enter. Emma Smith has 18 vacation days left. When does she need to use them by? We're just going to use another XLOOKUP here to return that. XLOOKUP, click on Emma's name, go over to column A. We're going to look up her name over here, lock the reference, comma. We're going to return the end date of her vacation period. choose those, lock that, parentheses, hit enter. And here you can see Emma needs to use her 18 vacation days by April 10th of 2025. And then when you pull down the employee name, the data will change no matter who comes to you with these questions asking how much time they have left and when they need to use it by. You can answer with confidence and accuracy. All right, well, that's the challenge. Curious how many of you use the same formulas and functions? Did you do something different? Did you run into any trouble somewhere? Let us know. Hope you enjoyed the challenge, and we'll see you next month. So there it is. Did you get the same results? Did you use the same approach? Or did you try something different? We'd like to know. Share your take on the challenge in the comments below or join us for more discussion in our Slack channel. Link in the description. Thanks for participating, and make sure to subscribe to this channel to get an alert when the next challenge is released. We'll see you then.